Okay. Hello, everyone. So I'm Miss Smith, and this is our fourth virtual guidance lesson, the second one for February. And we're going to be talking about 10 tips for test anxiety. You guys have iRead coming up, and some of you guys have some other tests coming up. And it's really important that we have some tips for how to do well on those tests, because tests can make us very stressed out, very nervous. I know whenever I have a big test coming up, I feel the same way. So let's go through some tips for test anxiety. Number one is find out what makes you anxious. What makes you feel stressed about this test? Is it that you think it's going to be hard? Is it that you don't want to fail? You're worried that you're going to fail? Is it because it's boring? You're just really bored. You don't want to take it? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Or is it some other reason? Finding out why you're anxious, what's making you anxious, can help you figure out what you need to do to calm down. If you're tired, you need to make sure that you get enough sleep the night before your test. If you're usually hungry during your test, maybe pack a snack for school, or make sure that you're eating a good breakfast or a good lunch. If it's some other reason, like you feel like it's boring, maybe try to make it fun. Try to compete with yourself to see how well you can do. So it's important to find out what makes you anxious so that you can do something to fix that. Number two, you can study in chunks before the test. So you're going to split up what you're studying. So if you have a spelling test and you have 20 words on that test and it's going to be on Friday, then you can study 5 words on Monday. And then Tuesday, you're going to study those same 5 words and then add another 5 words that are new. And then Wednesday, you would study those 10 words that you already know and add another 5 words, so you'll have 15 words. And then Thursday, you're going to study those 15 that you know, and then add another 5 so that you will learn all 20. And you can review those and make sure that you know them all. And then Friday, you have your test. So if you split it up, it doesn't seem as overwhelming. It doesn't seem as stressful. So that's one good way to study, is to split your studying into chunks. Okay. Number 3, try out different studying methods. Find out what works best for you. So you might do really well whenever your parent or your older sibling quizzes you, asks you questions about what you're studying. That might be a really good way for you to learn and remember what you're studying. You might do practice tests, or study with a friend, or have a teacher help you study. Or some people study best by just figuring things out themselves. If it's something hard, working through it helps them learn. But some people get stuck if it's really hard and they need someone to help them. So it's important to know what works for you. And if something doesn't work for you the first time, try it again. And then if it still doesn't work, try something new. So it's important to find what study methods work for you. Number 4, boost your confidence. Use self-praise, like saying things like, I got this, or I am so smart, or I can do this. I'm going to do well on this test. You need to use self-praise because that's going to boost your confidence. And the more confident you are, the better you're going to do on your test. If you think that you're going to fail something, you might get really overwhelmed with a question and you're going to think, I don't know the answer to this, and you're going to get stuck. But if you go into your test with confidence and you tell others how you're doing and you're being really successful, then you got it. It'll be no problem. Okay. Number 5, practice different test taking strategies. So a good one is if you come up to a hard question and you get stuck, sometimes it's a really good idea to skip that question and go on to an easier one, and then come back to it later after you've answered those easier ones. Because sometimes answering a different question can help you remember the answer to that really hard question. Or sometimes we just need a break from a hard situation or a question, and when we come back to it, we feel rested and ready to tackle it. You also want to read your directions carefully. Sometimes we get really gung-ho into answering questions when we don't know what these questions are asking us. So if you read the directions carefully, you're gonna know what the question is asking you, and you're gonna be able to better answer it or better pick the best answer. You also want to ask yourself what the question's looking for, which goes along with reading directions. So if your question sounds kind of worded weird and you don't know what you're looking for, you want to break it apart and look at your answer options and try to figure that part out. You want to use your time wisely. You don't want to rush through your test because then you're not doing your best job, but you also don't want to take too much time on each question. And if one's hard, you need to skip it and come back to it later, because you could use up all your time answering that one question and not get to answer the other ones. You also don't want to rush, which I mentioned, and you want to go back and review your answers at the end. So sometimes when we get through it, our questions at the end of the test might remind us of answers of the questions at the beginning of the test. So you always want to go back and review your answers at the end. And then after your test is graded, you want to study those missed questions afterwards so that next time you know the answers to those questions and you learn a little bit more from your mistakes. I think I skipped. Okay, here's 6. Ask for help. It's really important that you ask for help. Sometimes we like to do things ourselves. Sometimes we feel embarrassed if we have to ask for help. But our teachers, parents, siblings, our friends, our principals, me, the other counselors, we are all willing to help you and give you advice and support and guidance and help you figure out what testing strategies work for you. So make sure that you're being nice when you're asking someone for help. Don't be down on yourself. Just ask them, say, hey, I don't know how to figure this out. Can you help me? Okay? Instead of saying things like, I'm so stupid, I'll never get this. Okay, because that's just going to bring you down and make you stuck and not be able to move forward. Okay, so always ask for help. Number 7, take care of yourself on test day. Eat good brain food. So don't eat a ton of candy, because that's going to make your stomach hurt. That's going to make you really jittery and not be able to focus. You want to drink plenty of water, not soda, because that's going to do the same thing as candy. You want to drink plenty of water, eat good brain food, do something fun and relaxing to help you calm down, help you not focus on that test. You've done your studying, you got it, you don't need to keep worrying about it. And practice coping strategies for anxiety. Okay, you want to practice breathing, mindfulness, our zones of regulation, having mindset reminders, making sure that your mindset's a good mindset, and positive affirmations like saying, I can do this. You want to use those during your test, and you want to think about those ahead of time so that you're practicing them and they just come easily while you're taking your test, and you can calm yourself down. Okay, we'll go back to 8. Be organized. It's hard to study if your study materials are nowhere to be found. So it's important to keep a important papers folder to take home with you. Bring your iPad or Chromebook home with you. Have a special study space at home that's clean and doesn't have a bunch of distractions and toys on it. And you want to keep a schedule for studying. You want to study at the same time every day so that you have that schedule and you know what to do, and it makes studying easier. Number 9, listen and pay attention in class. Ask questions if you're confused. Do your homework and your classwork on time. Listen when your teacher is talking. Pay attention to the work you're doing and try your best. If you're present in class and you're not spacing out or working on something you shouldn't be working on, you're going to absorb more information, kind of like a sponge absorbs water. So just being there and actually listening to what your teacher is saying, you're going to learn more than if you're off in your mind somewhere else. And number 10, review what happened after your test and adjust your methods for studying, your methods for test taking. Figure out what helped you, what didn't help you, and keep doing what worked. Keep doing what helped you and try something new for what didn't work. So if your studying was awesome and you knew all the information, but you still felt really anxious during your test, try some new coping strategies to help you calm down. If you didn't study very well, but you weren't feeling anxious on your test because you used your coping strategies, keep your coping strategies, but try to find a new study method. So keep what works and try something new and different for what doesn't work. And just know that even if you fail once, twice, 100 times, you still have the opportunity to keep trying, keep moving forward, and eventually you will get it. Okay? So that is the end, and I hope you have good luck on all of your tests, and I hope that you learned something. If you need help, reach out to your teachers, parents, your counselors, anyone around you that you think is going to help you. Okay? All right, good luck. Bye.